Every month, your salary hits your bank account, and within seconds, you make a decision that will either move you closer to wealth or keep you trapped in financial mediocrity. The difference between people who build lasting wealth and those who live paycheck to paycheck isn't the size of their salary, it's what they do with their money in the first 24 hours after they receive it. Right now, you probably think you know how to handle your monthly income, but what if I told you that your approach might be keeping you poor without you even realizing it? The wealthy have a completely different playbook when it comes to managing their monthly income, and today, you're going to learn their secrets. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to transform your monthly salary from a survival tool into a wealth-building machine. Picture this. Two people, Lisa and Marcus, both earning exactly the same salary of $4,000 per month. They work in similar jobs, live in the same city, and have comparable expenses. But 5 years later, Lisa is still living paycheck to paycheck, while Marcus has built a six-figure investment portfolio and is on track to retire early. What happened? The difference wasn't luck, inheritance, or a secret side hustle. The difference was mindset, and more specifically, how they approached their monthly salary from the moment it arrived. The poor mindset sees a monthly salary as money to spend. The rich mindset sees it as money to allocate. This might sound like a small distinction, but it's actually the foundation of everything else. When you see your salary as spending money, you think about what you can buy with it. When you see it as allocation money, you think about how to make it work for you. It's like the difference between being a passenger in your financial life versus being the driver. Let's start with what happens the moment your salary hits your account. Most people with a poor mindset celebrate. They feel relief that they can pay their bills, maybe treat themselves to something nice, and get through another month. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about earning money, but here's what the wealthy do differently. They treat their salary like a business treats revenue. They don't celebrate until they've allocated every dollar to a specific purpose. The wealthy follow what I call the allocation before celebration rule. Before they spend a single dollar, they divide their salary into different buckets: necessary expenses, investments, emergency fund, and only then, discretionary spending. It's like being a conductor of an orchestra. Every dollar has a specific role to play, and the conductor makes sure each section comes in at exactly the right time. But here's where most people make their first mistake. They think budgeting means restricting their spending. The poor mindset sees a budget as a limitation, like putting walls around their money. The rich mindset sees a budget as a GPS system for their financial journey. It's not about limiting where you can go. It's about making sure you arrive at your destination efficiently. The wealthy use what's called the pay yourself first principle, but they take it much further than most people realize. Most people interpret pay yourself first as putting some money aside for savings after they've covered their essential expenses. But the wealthy literally pay themselves first, before anything else. The moment their salary arrives, they automatically transfer money to their investment accounts, their emergency fund, and their wealth-building vehicles. Only then do they pay their bills and living expenses. This creates a powerful psychological shift. When you pay yourself first, you're forced to live on what's left over, which naturally makes you more conscious about your spending. When you pay yourself last, you're living on everything except what's left over, which is usually nothing. It's like the difference between filling a container with rocks first and then adding sand versus adding sand first and trying to fit rocks in the remaining space. Here's a practical example of how this works. Let's say you earn $4,000 per month. The poor mindset approach might look like this: pay rent, utilities, groceries, car payment, insurance, and then if there's anything left over, maybe put $50 or $100 in savings. The rich mindset approach flips this completely. Immediately transfer $600 to investments, $200 to emergency fund, then figure out how to live comfortably on the remaining money. This might seem scary at first, but here's what happens. You become incredibly creative about reducing your expenses without reducing your quality of life. You might discover that you don't actually need that premium cable package, or that cooking at home 3 more nights per week isn't just healthier, but also more enjoyable. You start distinguishing between needs and wants in a way that people who don't pay themselves first never do. The wealthy also understand something crucial about expenses that most people miss. There are 3 types of expenses, and only one of them actually makes you poorer. There are survival expenses, which are necessary for living. There are lifestyle expenses, which make life more enjoyable, but don't build wealth. And there are investment expenses, which actually make you richer over time. The poor mindset focuses on minimizing survival expenses and maximizing lifestyle expenses. The rich mindset focuses on minimizing lifestyle expenses and maximizing investment expenses. Let me give you an example. A poor mindset might see a $500 monthly car payment as a necessary expense. A rich mindset might choose to buy a reliable used car for cash, eliminating the monthly payment entirely, and then invest that $500 every month. Over 10 years, assuming a 7% return, that monthly investment would grow to over $86,000. The car payment, on the other hand, would cost $60,000 with nothing to show for it at the end. But the wealthy take this concept even further. They don't just avoid bad expenses. They actively seek out expenses that generate income. This is where the mindset difference becomes really pronounced. The poor mindset sees all expenses as money going out. The rich mindset sees some expenses as investments that will bring more money back in. For example, a wealthy person might spend $1,000 on a course that teaches them a new skill, knowing that this skill could increase their earning potential by hundreds of dollars per month. They might spend money on books, seminars, or networking events that could lead to better job opportunities or business connections. They see these as investments in their most valuable asset, themselves. The wealthy also understand the power of what's called lifestyle lag. This is the practice of keeping your lifestyle expenses constant even as your income increases. Most people fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation, where every raise or bonus immediately gets absorbed into higher living costs. But the wealthy deliberately create a gap between their income and their lifestyle expenses, and they invest that gap. Think of it like this. If you're earning $4,000 per month and living on $3,500, you have $500 to invest. If you get a raise to $5,000 per month but keep living on $3,500, you now have $1,500 to invest. That's a 300% increase in your investment capacity from just a 25% increase in income. This brings us to one of the most important differences between poor and rich mindsets: how they view money itself. The poor mindset sees money as something to be spent or saved. The rich mindset sees money as something to be multiplied. Saving money is important, but it's just the first step. The wealthy understand that money sitting in a savings account is actually losing value over time due to inflation. They see saving as gathering ammunition for investing. The wealthy also have a completely different relationship with debt. The poor mindset sees all debt as bad and tries to avoid it completely, or falls into the trap of using debt to finance lifestyle expenses. The rich mindset understands that there's good debt and bad debt, and they use good debt strategically to build wealth faster. Good debt is debt that helps you acquire assets that appreciate in value or generate income. A mortgage on a rental property, a business loan to start a profitable venture, or even student loans for education that significantly increases earning potential can be examples of good debt. Bad debt is debt used to purchase things that lose value or don't generate income. Credit card debt for vacations, car loans for expensive vehicles, or personal loans for lifestyle expenses. The wealthy use their monthly salary to systematically pay down bad debt while strategically taking on good debt. They might aggressively pay off credit card debt while simultaneously investing in their retirement accounts. They understand that paying off 18% credit card debt is like getting a guaranteed 18% return on their money, which is better than most investments. Here's where the mindset difference becomes really powerful. The wealthy think in terms of cash flow, not just net worth. They don't just want to accumulate assets, they want to accumulate assets that generate monthly income. This completely changes how they allocate their salary. Instead of just saving money, they're specifically saving money to invest in income-generating assets. For example, instead of just putting money in a savings account, they might invest in dividend-paying stocks that send them money every quarter. Instead of just paying off their mortgage as quickly as possible, they might invest extra money in rental properties that generate monthly cash flow. They're not just building wealth, they're building wealth that pays them. This leads to what the wealthy call financial velocity, the speed at which their money works for them. Every dollar they allocate from their monthly salary is designed to generate more dollars as quickly as possible. They measure success not just by how much money they have, but by how quickly their money is growing. The wealthy also understand the importance of what they call financial seasons. Just like farmers plant different crops at different times of the year, the wealthy allocate their monthly salary differently depending on their financial season. In their wealth-building season, they might invest 70% of their surplus income. In their wealth preservation season, they might focus more on safer investments and insurance. In their wealth distribution season, they might focus on generating steady income from their investments. But perhaps the most important difference is how the wealthy view their monthly salary in relation to their total financial picture. The poor mindset sees their salary as their only source of income and plans their entire financial life around it. The rich mindset sees their salary as just one source of income among many, and they use it to build additional income streams. The wealthy use their monthly salary to invest in assets that will eventually replace their salary income. They might buy rental properties that generate monthly cash flow, invest in dividend-paying stocks, or build businesses that can eventually run without their daily involvement. Their goal is to reach a point where their investment income exceeds their living expenses, at which point their salary becomes optional rather than necessary. Here's a practical framework you can use to start thinking like the wealthy with your monthly salary. First, automate your wealth building. Set up automatic transfers so that your investment contributions happen before you have a chance to spend the money. Second, treat your investments like bills that must be paid. You wouldn't skip your rent payment, so don't skip your investment contributions. Third, increase your investment rate whenever your income increases. Fourth, regularly review and adjust your allocation to make sure it's aligned with your long-term goals. The transformation from poor mindset to rich mindset doesn't happen overnight, but it can start with your very next paycheck. The wealthy understand that building wealth is not about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep and how effectively you put that money to work. Your monthly salary is not just payment for your past work, it's the foundation for your future wealth. Every month, you have a choice. You can see your salary as money to spend, or you can see it as money to allocate strategically toward building the life you want. You can let your money disappear into lifestyle expenses, or you can direct it toward investments that will eventually set you free. The wealthy made this choice long ago, and it's the reason they're wealthy. The question is, what choice will you make with your next paycheck? Remember, the difference between poor and rich isn't about the size of your salary. It's about the size of your vision for what that salary can become. Start thinking like the wealthy and watch your monthly salary transform from a survival tool into a wealth-building machine. Your future self will thank you for making this shift today. Knowledge without action is powerless. First, show your support by hitting that like button, then subscribe and turn on notifications. Most importantly, take action on the strategies we discussed today and share your results in the comments. Let's take another step toward financial freedom together.